the Iraq parliament has voted to ban a number of notable online games, including Fortnite and PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, as a result of their negative influence. As noted by Reuters, the government believes there are no place for the Battle Royale titles, which ask players to eliminate each other in a last-man-standing fight to the death. In a country that's been plagued by so much war and conflict, we have made this decision due to the negative effects caused by some electronic games on the health, culture, and security of Iraqi society, including societal and moral threats to children and youth. The news does not seem to have gone down too well, however, with people lambasting the government on social media and focusing on non-issues, while many citizens are forced to struggle without basic utilities like water and power. The decision in Iraq comes shortly after Battlegrounds was banned in Nepal, with officials in the South Asian country also expressing concern at the game's violent content and negative influence. We are just weeks away from the 2019 Game Developers Conference, and organizers want to let you know about the COURAGEOUSDAVALOPERSWHO will be participating in the popular Jack Pitch event at BD Play this year. If you have never been to BD Play, know that it's a showcase for some of the most interesting emerging independent developers and their games. BD Pitch is a special event where select BD Play action their game pitching skills in front of a panel of expert judges, as well as a live audience. This year BD Pitch will take place Wednesday and Thursday, March 20th and 21st, during BD 2019. And it will again be hosted by Jason Delaroca of the investment platform Execution Labs. 10 selected dev teams will each be offered pitch prep and training. Then get 5 minutes to pitch, followed by questions, advice, and feedback from the judges. Each day the judges will declare a best pitch and award a complimentary all-access pass to BD 2019. It's always an exciting event, so leave some time in your BD 2019 schedule to drop by and check it out. BD Pitch
DAY1
Wednesday, March 20th
12:30至1:30 p.m.
Pitcher's Game BD Pitch
DAY2
Thursday, March 21st
12:45至1:45 p.m.
Pitcher's Game BD Play exhibitors opt in to participate in BD Pitch via BD Connect. Selected studios are given strict format instructions and rules, as well as a time slot on one of the 2 days. As you can see, each of these events is expected to run about an hour, and will take place at the Career Center Theater, in the North Hall of San Francisco's Moscone Convention Center. It promises to be an engaging high-energy competition, so leave time to check it out as you are planning out your conference schedule. The ATHONALINEGDC 2019 session scheduler. Bring your team to BD, register a group of 10 or more and save 10% on conference passes. Learn more. For more details on GDC 2019 visit the show's official website, or subscribe to regular updates via Facebook, Twitter, OS. Gamasutra and BD are sibling organizations under parent company Informa. Every game has its dominant trend at gameplay at the right times. Interested in how sandbox game events differ from traditional linear ones? What follows is how I have approached it. I am using quest instead of mission to separate it from military terms and expectations. It's also more scalable. A special call out to Alex Cox, who helped out this bigger picture a few years ago. The idea of how a game cycles through different features connectly to several topics. For this discussion, It center around non-linear sandbox experiences. If the conditions are right, the game will introduce new events to the player, remove existing ones to shape the gameplay. World state. The current conditions of the game influence what appears in the game. Some examples of these conditions are quest status, player health, and time of day. The world state is a storage cabinet for all sorts of values. Monitoring this allows the game to present the best choices for what appears next. The world state keeps track of what's in the game pantry. State manager. Any number of events or quests can be available at one time. The state manager is the gatekeeper to all these possible events. A binary flag for can this happen right now? Every sandbox game needs a gatekeeper that manages wholesale chunks of the game. The state manager is what's on the menu. For example, when Batman is introduced to the Riddler, it unlocks a batch of Riddler puzzles in Arkham City. Game director. When an event becomes unlocked, it might not be present in the game world. Sometimes you need more than blunt on or off. Consider THISTHA Keymaster, allowing only fresh events to appear, depending on what's recently happened in the game. The game director wants to give you specials. For example, if the player just encountered a robbery, the game director knows not to immediately create a no theft opportunity. Another example could be limiting when Lois Lane appears at the Daily Planet only between her work hours 9 and 5 p.m. Each event has conditions it must meet before the player is allowed to interact with it. The game checks to see what's going on around the player. World state allows a type of event to appear. State manager then picks the best one for the moment. Game director. Gameplay events. An event can be as grand as a story arc, or as basic as finding a mold of cocktails in a rundown cabin. Working together, the state manager and game director decide what you get to play. Hopefully they pick exactly what you want to write before you know you wanted it. If done right, you can end up with a satisfying experience. With all the major parts known, you can trace the game loop for handling open world content. Imagine all the game encounters you have experienced, and see how they could appear based on these checkpoints. We will look at the full spread of quests activities. Motivation loop details can help you shape to player goals. Other topics such as when events can appear will also be discussed. Other orchestrating game world articles. Prefab Premium. You can find more posts on my website curiousconstructs.com. Unknown Worlds. Entertainment for the surprise hit with Antarctica. A game focused on ocean exploration. Now, they are literally diving deeper into the sea, retrofitting their game with more realistic underwater graphics rendering. The game was a departure for you. Following the release of the multiplayer shooter Natural Selection 2, the small studio wanted to do something different. NS2 was a competitive game with a fairly hardcore, traditional audience. SSU technical director Max McGuire and the team wanted to pursue a game concept with a broader appeal that might attract players outside the traditional game's demographics. The team focused on the themes of exploration and discovery in a beautiful game world. The result is an exploration-based scuba diving game set on a lush alien planet. The game has been in Steam Early Access since it launched at the end of 2015, but the promise of undersea adventures has already attracted a large audience, over 375k owners, according to data gathered from Steam profile pages by the site Steam Speed. Subnautica recently released a substantial update DUBEDSUBNAUTICAH2.0, a graphical overhaul with the main goal of giving the player more of an impression of being underwater, starting from above the water surface. We updated the sky visuals and tried to give it a more alien planet feel, McGuire said. A large portion of the way water looks is the reflections, so we had to do a lot of tuning there. We also gave the waves an overhaul using Jerry Tassendorf's model for our ocean. Of course, the most major tweaks were made to the game world underwater. Lighting plays the biggest role in making the sense of underwaterness feel realistic. One thing McGuire did was updated so that light from the sun in the sky attenuated as you go deeper into the ocean, as well as improved the model of light scattering in the water. One of the big changes was using volumetric data for all of the water and lighting parameters, so that they could vary over the world, as well as on the screen, McGuire said. In previous releases, these were often constant over the screen, so they faded using timed transitions as you moved between different areas of the game world. This let you remove the outside ambient lighting in deeper recesses of underwater caves, leading to nice spatial transitions between clear water in the shallows and the deep greens of algae-filled kelp waters. Another big thing McGuire added was more realistic caustic effects for the way light reflects and refracts through the water surface down to below. To make things more realistic, the caustic effects are based on the actual water surface conditions and light shafts that follow that model. The main challenge is that in the real world, it's actually pretty hard to see underwater.